My absolute favourite genre of games has to be the platformer. And luckily for me, the Switch has plenty to keep me occupied. They can come in either 2 or 3 dimensions, but today I'm going to focus on the 2D ones. So let us start with a few rules, because we all know strict rules are what makes these things fun. I will be sticking to one game per franchise. I'm also not going to be including any Metroidvanias. There are so many good ones out there, they can have their own list. All of these games will just have a simple goal, and that is get to the end of the level, then move on to the next one. Of course, these levels can have hidden collectibles in them that you may or may not need, but there is no necessity of finding new moves or abilities in order to backtrack to previous areas. Also remember that these are just my personal favourites. I haven't played every single platformer on the Switch, so if your favourite isn't on here, then let me know about it in the comments. Tell me what I've missed and I'll check them out. I have had my eye on some platformers on the eShop lately, so maybe I'll have enough to make a second list in the future. Who knows? But make sure you hit that subscribe button anyway so you don't miss the future videos. And as usual, I obviously don't want to spoil what's coming on the list in my introduction, so the games you've been looking at so far are my honourable mentions. So, I'm Dave from SaveDex, let's get started. Number 10, Adventure Pals. I love Banjo-Kazooie, but so far we can't play it on the Switch, so a game where you have a giraffe on your back instead of a bird will have to do, I suppose. Adventure Pals is a cute game where you have to find your way to the exit in 5 areas of each level. There is plenty to do in this game as well, with cupcakes to collect which unlocks costumes, and an overworld map that is fun to explore, and you meet some crazy characters. The combat in this game may seem basic, but it's always fun to hit your way through the enemies. It's not the most difficult platformer I've played, but it can get challenging at times, and it's a nice, cute way to start off the list before we jump straight into a very difficult one. Number 9, Super Meat Boy. I remember first getting this on the Xbox 360, and when it appeared on the Switch, I just had to buy it again. You play as Meat Boy, trying to rescue Bandage Girl from Dr. Fetus. It's a simple setup, but it's got hard as nails gameplay. Each level can be beaten quickly, if you know what you're doing. Wall jumping plays a big part, and practice really does make perfect here. As the game progresses, you'll be introduced to new hazards, new mechanics, and basically just new things that will kill you instantly. There are also hidden levels where you can unlock new characters with their own unique playstyles, but I always just stick with Meat Boy, he's just too much fun to control. My favourite thing about this game is, when you finally beat a level, it shows you a replay of all your attempts at the same time. Just watch that blood fly. This game is just bananas. Oh, speaking of bananas. Number 8, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. A game that was ported from the Wii U, but it was a fantastic one to bring over. Donkey Kong and friends have been blown away by those pesky snowmads, and they must travel back to their island to get rid of them. Along the way, you'll be enjoying some fantastic presentation, amazing music, and some of the best platforming gameplay ever. I even like the underwater levels, that is huge for me. Donkey Kong has 3 companions. Of course we have Diddy returning with his jetpack, but we also get Dixie Kong, who is my favourite as she just gives you extra height, and Cranky Kong, who is a lot of fun because you get to bounce around on his stick Scrooge McDuck style. Funky Kong is playable too in an easier version of the game, and an easier version of this game might be welcome to some as it can get difficult towards the end, I found. It is great to see this game on the Switch, but it is also great to see another game come along that takes a lot of inspiration from it. Number 7, Yooka and the Impossible Lair. Coming from ex-Rare employees, they brought us Laylee, a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, and despite me loving that game, not everyone did. So, for its sequel, they brought the series closer to Donkey Kong Country, and the characters really do translate well to 2D. You of course start this game off on the final level, the Impossible Lair, a very long, very difficult level which you have to beat on 1 life. You play through the different levels, which can be transformed by solving puzzles on the overworld map, and each time you beat a level you unlock a battalion member. Each of these bees give you an extra hit point in the Impossible Lair. This is a very inventive way of doing a platformer, and I love the amount of creativity involved in the level designs and the ways they can alternate. Laylee acts as an extra hit point as well as giving you more moves to do, and when you're hit, you have a chance of getting her back before she flies away. Little touches like that really do add a lot to it, as it makes it seem more fair, and that is an important quality in a hard platformer. At no point did I feel like my mistakes were the game's fault. They did eventually update the game with a not so impossible lair, where they give you some checkpoints and it saves the number of bees you had when you got there. You can also restart it and try again to keep more bees, so there is incentive to start from the beginning each time if you want to, and there is still an impossible lair there with no checkpoints and no bees at all. Yeah, good luck with that. Number 6. Rayman Legends. It was September 2012, 3 months before the Wii U launched, and I was at Eurogamer, queued up for an hour to try out Nintendo's new console, and this was one of the games they had. I loved Rayman Origins, and could see from my brief play of the demo that this was going to be amazing too, and yeah, it really was. The definitive edition is on the Switch, because the one problem it had before was not enough Kung Foot. The game is a simple, fun and very addictive platformer, where each level has the simple goal of just getting to the end, but there are lums to collect and teensies to save along the way. One particular highlight are the fast-paced levels that create music as you play through them, like this one that plays Eye of the Tiger. And you can also unlock levels from Rayman Origins too, which just adds more to do. If you are a completionist, then this will keep you busy for a long time. And I haven't even mentioned the art style either. That's always something you need to point out. Yeah, it looks amazing if you couldn't tell. Number 5. Megaman 11. Speaking of art styles, here's a game that tried a new art style from what we're used to in this series, and I think it works well. I loved the original Mega Man games, so a new one with the same gameplay style? Yes please. I remember when I first loaded this game up and saw the 8 choices of Robot Master, I just really loved that feeling of playing a Mega Man game for the first time and deciding which one to fight first and working out the order in which to beat them. The new mechanics of this game comes with the gear system, which lets you slow things down or power yourself up for a limited time. It's a nice feature that can make certain parts of the game easier, but it's not so intrusive that it ruins the gameplay. I felt it fits right in here. The power-ups are a lot of fun and the stages are very well designed. They got the difficulty exactly right as well. I always find with Mega Man games, when you first play a level, it seems impossible. But with each attempt, I would get a little bit further and eventually get to the point where the level just seems easy, as all it required was for me to learn where everything was and what I needed to do to progress. This game is no different. It felt just like a traditional Mega Man game to me and I loved it. I also feel the Mega Man franchise might have been an inspiration for the next game on this list. Number 4. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. I have a very interesting factoid about first playing this on the 3DS. When I completed it, I was sitting at a train station. I'm sure you all wanted to know about that. and I really couldn't resist buying this again and having it on the Switch. The treasure trove may seem pricey at first, but it is more than worth it, as you are getting 4 campaigns with this game, as well as a Smash Bros style fighting game. You progress through the map, taking on levels based on the different knights, before fighting that knight at the end. 3 of those knights earned their own campaigns too, which all helps add to the lore. All 4 knights control differently, and the level designs all cater to their unique movesets. I love Spectre Knight especially. I have found Shovel Knight to be very replayable over the years, and it is more than just a throwback to 8-bit platformers, and I couldn't highly recommend this game enough. When it comes to modern platforming games with pixel art styles, you can't get much better than this. Well, except for our number 3 spot. Number 3, Celeste. I didn't get this game initially, but I heard a lot of people talking about it. It was nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and I heard nothing but praise. I eventually got round to playing it, and yeah, I definitely see what all the fuss was about. You play as Madeline, a girl who struggles with anxiety and is on a quest to climb Celeste, a mountain. The characters and story in this game are definitely a highlight and helps you engage with the game, and I feel like it portrays Madeline's mental health issues really well. Oh, and the gameplay is top notch as well. It is another really difficult but at the same time forgiving platformer. Each screen is its own checkpoint, so you may fail on a certain jump many times, but you'll also respawn instantly exactly where you started the area, so you never have to go back far to try again. I found the controls to be flawless. You can climb up the sides of walls to make the wall jumping easier to manage, and after you make your initial leap, you can have a handy boost jump as well. In this part where the winds are blowing against me, I genuinely felt I was battling a heavy wind myself, and when I passed it, I felt the sudden relief of being able to move properly again. My thumb was hurting from holding right so hard. The game is just so immersive. Getting to the end of this game was an insane challenge, but it felt so rewarding. Just like you really have climbed up a mountain, and having never climbed up a mountain myself, I can safely say that I know exactly what I am talking about. Number 2, Super Mario Maker 2. Now this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's pretty much unlimited Mario levels. What's not to love? I don't have a lot of experience in creating levels in this game. For ages I had made only one, although after the 3.0 update I started to get into creating a few, which I have showcased on this channel. My Maker ID is in the description if you'd like to try my levels out. Most of my time though has been on the Endless Challenge, which I absolutely love. Trying to complete as many levels as you can with a set number of lives is so addicting, and I have come across some phenomenal levels this way, and I cannot give enough praise to the creativity and imagination that the community has displayed. Like this one. It's a faithful recreation of some key areas of the original Metroid. And this one has you enter a head, work your way down the inside of the body, and you come out of the... yeah. My absolute favourite mechanics in this game has to be the Link costume and the on-off switches. If I see either of those in the level, I know I'm in for a treat. Maybe I'll make a few more levels soon, but in the meantime I will continue to enjoy playing all of yours. If you want me to try any, then leave me a comment down below with the level code and I'll be sure to play it. Isn't it incredible when a gaming company can hand their mascot character over to some fans, and those fans just end up creating something wonderful? And I'm not just talking about Mario Maker here, I'm also talking about the number 1 spot. Because number 1 is of course Sonic Mania. I love this game. Obviously, since I put it at number 1. I was a huge Sonic fan growing up. I loved the Mega Drive Sonic games. I loved most of his 3D games to be fair, but a lot of people didn't, and even some 2D games weren't well received. Remember Sonic 4? This game sure doesn't. But here is Sonic Mania. A game that does play on nostalgia with its graphics, music and returning zones, but also brings in new things such as the drop dash and, yeah, new zones. Each zone has 2 acts. In the returning zones, Act 1 has a combination of stage layouts from their previous appearance, but Act 2 introduces a new gimmick, such as zip lines in Green Hill or Chemical Plant having fun mechanics with different chemicals. If you go into the DLC, then you get Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel added to the playable roster. That makes 5 characters in total, each with their own unique moves. Sonic has the aforementioned drop dash, Tails can fly, Knuckles can glide and climb walls, Mighty can withstand spikes and smash through floors, and Ray can fly in a similar manner to Mario's cape power-up. I like the Encore mode too, where you play as all 5 characters, each one acting as a life. It is a shame you can't scroll through the characters on the fly. I mean, this mode would have been absolutely perfect if you could. I would constantly be noticing Easter eggs and references as I played through this game, and it always brought a smile to my face. This game showed me that the original formula for Sonic still works, and hopefully they'll bring us a sequel that builds on this game and lessens the nostalgic throwbacks and brings us some more entirely original zones. But in the meantime, I'll keep replaying this one. So, those were my top 10 favourite 2D platformers on the Switch. Which ones are your favourites? Let me know in the comments down below, as well as any Mario Maker codes you might want to share. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button, join the party, and not miss our future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye everyone.